Hey, what's happening? You're watching Toonami TV. It's Matchday. Newcastle taking on Liverpool at St James's Park. It's a 12:30 kick-off, nice and early, with a lot at stake in this game. Newcastle can create a bit of history if they can win on the day. That would be 7 victories. That's never been set or done before by any manager, and Eddie Howe and the lads can create a little bit of history for the club. As for Liverpool, they go into this game chasing Manchester City for the Premier League title. As it stands, they are 1 point behind Manchester City. With a victory, they can go top for a short time at least. So they know what they have to do, and we know what we have to do on the day. I'm under no illusions how tough this game is going to be. Liverpool are one of the world's best sides, and they're in the top 2 for a reason. They are chasing the quadruple. They're going for the Premier League. They're going for the Champions League, the FA Cup, and they've already won the League Cup. So we know what we're going up against on the day. But at St James's Park, we can beat anyone, as we have proven. St James's Park has become a fortress, and we want to make it as intimidating as possible for as many of the opposition that do turn up. And it has been a problem for the opposition since Eddie Howe has come into the football club. We've seen the transformation, we've seen what he's brought to the football club, and the players are full of confidence. I tell you, I would have snapped your hand off, for a current 9th place finish, if that's where we do end up finishing come the end of the season, with what we had at the start of the season when we could barely string 2 passes together, we could barely score a goal, and we were very, very poor at the back, leaking in goals for fun. But now it's the complete opposite. We've found goals in the side. Players are full of confidence. We can make more than 2 passes. And even when we don't have a lot of shots on target, we do make the most of them when we do get them. And at the back, we are very solid when we are, under the cosh. And as said, we haven't conceded as many goals. So Liverpool know that this is a different Newcastle, the second part of the season, to what it would have been at the start of the season. So they know that they will be in for a game on the day. And what does intimidate the opposition is what War Flags have created, which is a pre-match atmosphere with the flags and the music that builds up to the match, and it just gets the players going. And you can see under Eddie Howe, not just his coaching, but during the game, the players are thriving off the crowd, full houses, and that's what you want to see. Newcastle United are back, and I will say that this is just the beginning. Now, in terms of building up to the game, Eddie Howe has conducted his press conference, and he was asked a few questions. So I'll talk about the injury situation, and that is Ryan Fraser will be missing for the remainder of the season. There is an outside chance that he could make the Arsenal or potentially the Burnley game, but Eddie Howe was quoted saying that he will not risk him if the injury is not as good as what the club doctors are saying to him. Of course, we do have the options off the bench. Callum Wilson and Kieran Trippier and Paul Dummer are back in full training. However, Kieran Trippier and Callum Wilson are still a few weeks away. Eddie Howe didn't state when they will be back, but you'd like to say, hopefully, fingers crossed, the Manchester City, Arsenal or Burnley game. But as I said, will they be risked? I don't think they will, because we already have the points on the board. Paul Dummer is available for selection when he was asked about him in the press conference. Now, Eddie Howe has said a few nice things about Liverpool in terms of their season, that they're doing really well, and that Jurgen Klopp has been a real inspiration to the football club. He also went down to the training ground at Liverpool to see how they operate when he wasn't in management, and he's taken a few things away from Jurgen Klopp, and he wants to try to inspire to be like Liverpool. Not how Jurgen Klopp plays his football, but how we can be, maybe in the next few seasons to come. Of course, we're just early days, and it's building blocks slowly and surely. Slow always wins the race, as they say. And he was also asked about, when are Newcastle going to likely win trophies, this, that and the other. And he basically said along the lines of, football can be very unforgiving sometimes. You don't always get what you want, and you have to work, for the success. And he basically said along the lines of, it's basically going to be a slow process. You can't predict when things are going to happen, and it's just one step at a time. It's as simple as that. And we're only early days in this takeover. Yes, we've made some very good January signings. Have all been shrewd, and they have been the right players. But we have to keep going, in the summer, and they have to be correct. Of course, we need to get rid of players that are not, suited to our style of play and to where we want to be. And Eddie Howe says it's not going to be, a quick turnaround just like that. We have to keep, aiming to try and be where the rest of the clubs are, but it may take a little bit of time to get to those clubs, currently in the top 6. But as long as we keep supporting and the money gets invested, then we have a very good chance. What I love about Eddie Howe is that he's very realistic and he understands, what it takes to be successful. He doesn't just say things that are going to be, regretted down the line. Now, Jurgen Klopp said a few things about Eddie Howe in Newcastle, saying that we're on a phenomenal run of form, and he's correct because Eddie Howe had us on a 9-game unbeaten run. Of course, then we lost 3 games on the spin, and then he's turned it around. We've won 4 on the spin with a chance of making it 5 on the spin, and a chance of making it 7 back-to-back home victories, something that's never been done before, or what I know of anyway. And that's all down to Eddie Howe, his coaches, and the players, buying into what he wants them to do on a match-by-match basis. And that all ends up on the training ground, all of the ideas that get put into place for the match day. And he said Mark Leyland as well, who was one of the analysts at Liverpool, he's been one of the main reasons to why Newcastle have picked up good form. I'd say yes, and I'll say no, because okay, Liverpool have been successful with him in the background, but not just that. I'll say no because Eddie Howe's come in and he's turned a squad around that looked doomed for relegation. I said that at the start of the season we looked finished under Steve Bruce and Mike Ashley, the lack of investment, and he's come in and he's really galvanised the whole squad, and that's what it needed basically. He said that when he come in, he's seen the December run and it looked very difficult, and it was, because we didn't win for such a long time. Our first win of the season was Burnley, and that was after 14 games or something like that. And it's just a case of just trying to find that confidence, and the lads have gone from strength to strength. Of course, bringing in Dan Burn always helped in terms of showing up the defence. Bruno Guimaraes has been fantastic. I don't know how we've signed him, but he's a world-class player, already been linked with Real Madrid, and fair play to him. He's done so well since coming in. He's been in the goals, and his quality in that midfield has really got us further up the pitch. And you've seen the confidence from Chris Wood. He might not score the goals, but he tends to put himself about, and I feel like he's done well for where he's come from at Burnley, who are also in a relegation battle. Now, in terms of Liverpool, it's all about finding the balance for them. Jurgen Klopp understands that. He wasn't happy with the 12:30 kickoff. I like Jurgen Klopp as a manager, but I feel like he whinges a little bit too much. And the reason I say that is because Liverpool have got a good side, very in-depth squad that have quality. Yes, okay, they're playing every 3 or 4 days, but that's what happens when you're in, European competition as well as your domestic campaign, and they're challenging on all fronts, and you expect that. But they've got quality off the bench, so there's no real excuse for Liverpool not to put a good side out, on the day, and I expect that. Of course, they've got a key injury, and that is Roberto Firmino, so he'll be missing on the day. A very quality player who's done great things for that football club, and when he's been called upon, he's got the goals to win them trophies, and he's one less headache to think about. But I know that they have got a good side, on paper. Mohamed Salah, Diaz has been a quality signing for them. You could go through that whole side, Andy Robertson. So there you go. We know what we're up against, and Liverpool will go into this game knowing that they have to get the victory, and that they'll be playing, in front of 52,000 crowd. They'll not have their own there. They'll have a few, but as I said, they've got to try and, break us down at every cost. I understand Liverpool will have a lot of the ball. I expect them to have a lot of the chances, but if we can match them in terms of defending and trying to, get ourselves up the pitch a bit more, then no doubt we have that chance of, potentially getting something on the day. I believe we can. We could beat anyone, at St James's Park, and we'll have to have that confidence that we can. Eddie Howe will give them that confidence. Eddie Howe will not let the lads, slip, because he knows that they are playing for their futures still, and that there's a big summer ahead if the players want to be part of the plans. Just because we're safe doesn't mean that the season is done yet. There's still plenty of points to play. Yes, Liverpool are one of the best sides in the league, if not in the world. But as I said, we're a match for anyone at St James's Park, and that'll be no difference on the day. No difference, should I say. And Liverpool will have their work cut out. They're going to have to play well. And this whole tiredness situation, yeah, I get it. It's the end of the season. But at the end of the day, they have a good side that is capable of getting a result up here if they try. But it depends on how we set up as well. Eddie Howe usually goes 4-3-3 against sides at home and away from home, depending on the opposition. But I don't think he will. I would suggest he'll change it to something more defensive. But I'm sure Eddie Howe, I trust him, he'll find the balance there. But as I said, we've got to keep a hold of the ball. We've got to try and get Shelby and Gimaresh into the match as much as possible. If we give them the ball and they can do their thing, then that'll be good. We need to see Chris Wood and whoever plays out wide to get into the box as much as possible. We can't afford to start the game deep. We have to make sure that we match the Liverpool tempo, because we know that they're going to be good on the day. We know that they're going to have waves and waves and waves of chances, but it's how we nullify what they do. But as I said, I trust the process, and I trust what can happen on the day. But as I said, I just hope that we could at least get something out of the game on the match. I hope we can. We have what it takes. And as I said, fingers crossed. Score prediction, do you know what? I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle. You're going to look at that and think, you do know who you're playing. I do, and I understand it's Liverpool. But will Liverpool have one eye on Villarreal? Yes, they beat them, at Anfield 2-0. But as I said, I believe they will get the job done in Spain, and they will qualify, for the final. But as I said, yes, they will be tired as well. But we haven't played since our last game, which was against Norwich on the Saturday. So that the lads will be, full of confidence. And as I said, we have to play to get that 7th win in a row if we possibly can. As I said, a draw wouldn't be the worst result. If we get beat, then yeah, fine. Realistically, it can happen. It's Liverpool. But we have to think we can beat anyone at home. It doesn't matter who it is. And with this confidence, we don't really want it to end. And we want to keep ending the season, on a high, and keep creating more memories, more records. That's what we want to do. So I'm going to stick me neck on the line and say 2-1 Newcastle. But as I said, we'll just see what happens on the day. Let me know your build up to the game in the comment section below. Let me know your score predictions. Yeah, predicted 11 as well, and what's being said in the press conference. If you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. Follow me on social media, Toonami TV, Instagram and Twitter, and I'll give you a follow. And yes, thank you so much for watching. See you all later. Enjoy the game. How are the lads?